Hello guys, today we're gonna be watching one of the greatest games I've ever seen in the past decade or so. It's been a really interesting late game ZvT featuring two very best players from South Korea. Here we have Dark. He's probably one of the best Zerg players in the world. Probably not the best one like Serral or Raynor, but he's very close to this position as well. Has an amazing list of achievements from the past, and he's just capable of playing anything from late game macro to just cheesy solons, any kind of aggressive playstyle, and just everything. He can play with every unit this race has to offer. And his opponent is none other than Byun, a legendary Terran player who perhaps is not as strong as he used to be back in times when he was able to win the global finals in StarCraft 2. It was also against Dark, by the way, but yeah, Byun is still a very competent and capable player, still, even nowadays. He was the reason we don't really have those OP Reapers anymore, because he was pioneering this playstyle many years ago, playing with Mass Reapers in the beginning of a game in ZvT, and that was nerfed because of how good he was executing that strategy. His micro was just impeccable, and he was just an overall too strong for that strategy, unlike other Terrans who were utilizing other things. Nowadays, Byun is not as great as he used to be, as I said, but mostly because he also has some unfortunate struggles with his health and hand issues, you know. Many pro players in StarCraft 2, and specifically Terran race for some reason, they struggle with carpal syndrome. This is a problem when you have you just have like issues with your wrists and your hands, and it just pains you to play a lot in this game. You just can't really use your mouse and keyboard for a long period of time. You need to rest your hands much more than just normal people do. And this is actually a big problem, especially because Terran race is probably the most micro-intensive race. You have to do a lot of drops, you have to do a lot of multitasking, you have to do a lot of split with your Marines and just other units, and this is why every Terran player struggles with this issue. We had like several of such players, like MVP for example. If you remember this guy from Wings of Liberty, he also had the same problem, and this was also one of the reasons why he retired from StarCraft 2. But Byun, despite those issues, he's still capable of winning against pretty much anyone in this game, and he's still very strong. And he also goes for a super early third command center in this position. So yeah, we have 3 CCs so early this game, and yeah, pretty much because we are playing on post Youth. This is one of my favorite maps in the current map pool. Not that I enjoy playing myself on this map, because I'm a Zerg player and I would rather play on, you know, pretty much standard maps, but this map is super unique in terms of how you can expand. So you have this location that's on the same main base, just adjacent to it, and you can easily take your second base, pretty much what everybody is doing right now. It also has some chunks of gold, which is going to be expiring very quickly, but still you get this early and nice echo boost. And then you can just keep on expanding, tanking more and more bases, and this is just a perfect map for any macro play style. But at the same time, the rush distance isn't really that great. It's kinda short, to be honest, and it's very easy to reach the third base, especially when both players have secured that, so it's gonna be really tricky in the mid game. But still, this is a very unique map, and I really like watching games on this map in particular. So Byun goes for a very heavy macro play style. He's already adding to engineering base, which means that he's gonna be going straight into bio. He's skipping Hellions, he's skipping Banshees, and he's gonna be just trying to apply pressure with Marines. It kind of makes sense, because on this map anyway you can't really do much with Hellions, you can't really do much with Banshees or Liberators, because, well, you can see Queens, they're gonna be just transferring from base to base very quickly, so it doesn't really make sense to invest much money into those flying units. And Hellions, the same issue, they just cannot really go to the main base because of 1-2 Queens there, and the third base is also gonna be protected, so it's very difficult to find room for those units and just, you know, get a nice result with them, get a nice drone kills and stuff. So Dark already is taking his 4th and also 5th base, so he's expanding super quickly, and also the 6th base at the same time. Oh my god, this guy's really crazy. But again, like, he can afford that. He saw that, well, Byun doesn't really have anything. He's gonna be having some Marines very soon, but you know, it's not really that dangerous until he gets the medevacs, until he gets at least like a nice chunk of them. He needs like maybe 60 Marines at the very least, maybe 20, before he can really accomplish anything on the map. He's obviously going to scout with them. He's just trying to force Dark to build links instead of drones, which is a very important move, because otherwise Dark is going to be snowballing his economy even further. But now this small attack just forces Dark to use his resources, his minerals on links and just not on drones. Not even about resources, about larva, because Zerg race just has to decide with each larva cycle between what they want to build, right? They might build more drones and just snowball their economy, and they might need to build just those basic attacking units like Turlings. And even though Dark actually managed to clear out this chunk of Marines, it's probably not the best choice for him, because he would rather have more drones at that point. He would rather have like already 80 drones, and that would have been a lot more beneficial. But it's not really gonna matter if it's gonna be a long game, and it's not really that big of a deal if nothing really happens in the next minute or two. So it's fine. And yeah, both players just keep on expanding. Byun still stays on 3 bases, because yeah, for Terran race and just for every other race in this game, I mean basically for Protoss, doesn't really make much sense to expand as quickly as Zerg race does, because Zerg race also, even if you don't really saturate your base immediately, you're at least going to be having extra larva, and you're going to be having extra creep, you're going to be having extra vision, so it kind of makes sense to do that as early as you can if you already have a robust economy. Otherwise, then probably it's not the best thing for other races, and you can see Byun, he's just going to mass units, because yes, this is what you need to do against the Zerg race. You cannot really allow Zerg player to run rampant and just secure the whole map and just mine all the resource, because yeah, Zerg race usually expands economy a bit quicker. So now Byun is going to be applying pressure on Dark. It's going to be a bit tough actually. He doesn't really have medevacs. Oh, okay, actually he has them. There are only 2 of them, they're flying, and he's just clearing creep here, but there are so many links already on the map, and also some banelings. No baneling speed yet though, so it's not going to be that easy to actually accomplish anything here, but well, actually nice shot there from Byun. He managed to get 1 baneling, but he also managed to evacuate on time, so this is a very nice engagement for him, the first one. The resource loss is pretty much similar at this point, but it's only the beginning of the action, so nothing really special about that. So Byun is just trying to find some room in the background here, but well, yeah, maybe he can actually try to drop here. There's not much defense yet, and just 1 spore is being built, but probably gonna take a bit of links and maybe some drones, and it's gonna be a nice engagement, but not really much he can accomplish here, so he probably just needs to retreat back at home. Just need to make sure that he doesn't get stuck, because a lot of queens, they're gonna be shooting at those medevacs, and needs to be very careful, because all those early game marine are quite precious. Until you get like your 200 supply, it's very important to keep them alive, and it's not gonna be a good engagement if you just lose your army all the time. So yeah, he's also trying pressuring Dark from this side. He managed to cancel 1 base, which is nice, but so far, yes, Byun couldn't really accomplish anything with those 2 squads of Marines, but it's fine. Again, he is already making his 4th command center, he's going to be taking another base, and he understands it's alright, so probably on this map, in this game circumstances, I'm not going to be able to win it straight away, and it's going to be very difficult to push, and just, even like with a really good timing attack on this map, if we just consider Dark's economy, if we consider how much map he's taken, how much mineral mining he has, you can see he has almost 4,000 mineral per minute, which is a lot actually, because normally you would have like 2.5k. This is a normal number on most maps, but for Dark it's different because of the gold base in the middle. And yeah, this is why probably Byun cannot really break him, because even if he tries, it's going to be really tough, and probably most of the engagements are not going to be going well. So far, he does a good job with just trying to chip away at Dark with like those small engagements. He already has like 1,000 resource advantage. It's not really that important so far, because the game is only starting, there are a lot of bases still, but yeah, this is something, and he's just trying to capitalize on at least this little thing that he can do right now. He's also setting up a good defense, siege tanks going on, just keep on building, and yeah, that's very nice. Also getting the free upgrades, and the base here is secured. So we're gonna have a long macro game, I suppose, because well, unless Dark is gonna be trying to break Byun right here, right now, I guess, well, this is just not gonna be happening, because there's so many tanks, and super very likely that we're gonna have a long late game very soon. Byun is adding another command center. He understands that, yeah, probably gonna be taking the gold base as well. Why not? It's a very nice rich position. Why not take that? And yeah, Dark also, he's, kinda aware that probably he doesn't really have to commit yet. He can try to actually force a big engagement. He can try to overwhelm Byun with his sheer numbers here, and he's gonna be able to remax super quickly because he's gonna be having all those things. But probably he should wait for the adrenaline upgrade on the links, but he's still trying to commit here. Oh my god, this is actually a terrible engagement. All the bailings are stuck here, and he's just going from one side. It wasn't been that great. Yeah, it just was a bad engagement overall. I don't know why, like, he tried to commit here, but it doesn't really make any sense. He just lost 4k resources, but why? I don't really get that, because, well, maybe if he attacked this from two sides, if he just went from this position, if he went from this side as well, maybe also from here, it would have been much better, but I don't know. It felt like he was just a bit confused, or maybe like he didn't know about the tanks. But yeah, this was a pretty bad engagement for Dark, to be honest. But anyway, it's not the end of the game for him, obviously, because he has such a big bank of resources, so many bases, so it's fine. Now he's just gonna be trying to apply even more pressure. Another link attack is going on, but obviously gonna be defended very easily, because this position is pretty much unbreakable for Byun, at least for now. Maybe like with second attack is gonna be more doable, but yeah, I guess he should have just waited for extra upgrades. He should have waited for the upgrade on the links, the adrenaline, which gives them an extra DPS. And yeah, then it would have been a lot better to commit at that point. But anyway, it was worth a try, but probably should have had more bailings, or just had, you know, a better surround, I would say. Anyway, it's not a big deal so far, and Dark just keeps on clearing the map. He's just adding some Vipers, and probably gonna be dealing with those medevacs as well. So it's going really well for him. He's not mining that much gas, he's trying to focus on minerals, and he's doing a great job with that. And also, he takes more map control, which is going to be very, very important on this map as well, because if Dark manages to outmine Byun, if he just takes some of his bases as well, like this one here, or this one there, then he's gonna just have more money overall in this game. And when you're playing such a late game match, it just doesn't really matter how bad you trade if you just have more resources than your opponent. Yeah, there's one medevac here, by the way, which is gonna be a bit of a shame, but it's fine. 9 more overloads are being added, and Dark just gonna be going for a very big drop with +3 links, and also with adrenaline upgrade. It's gonna be massive, and there's just nothing on the main base. Oh my god, this is gonna be just horrible for Byun if he just doesn't see that. And Byun is very busy taking the gold base and also another base here. And Dark is also trying to apply pressure at the same time. He's probably just biting and just trying to see what's going on. But the overlords are flying, and Byun managed to scout that. He just scanned this position, and he now knows what's going on. The whole army is just coming back. Attack happens at the same time with the gold base. The gold base has been lost. And yeah, tanks are gonna be shooting well at bailings. They're gonna be probably getting some of them. And still, like, this was a great engagement for Dark. Even like if we look at the resource loss tab, probably not that great, to be honest, because Byun still had a very nice advantage. He just killed more expensive units, right? He killed a lot of bailings. But still, the point here, again, one way to win as Zerg player if you play this late game match, you can just try to mine a lot more than your opponent, and you just apply pressure until your opponent breaks. And even if you just lose 10k or 20k more resources, you can still manage to accomplish your victory if you just do not let your opponent take extra bases here, here, or there, and you take them yourself. And this way, even if you have like a big disparity between your losses and your winnings, you're still gonna be in a nice spot if you just manage to prevent your opponent from securing extra resources and extra bases. But doesn't seem to be the case so far for Dark. He's been trying to do that for past couple of minutes, but probably he's just going to transition, as I see, because he's adding 2 spires. He's going to be adding some upgrades on the flying units as well, and this means that we're going to be seeing a proper late game, maybe with Broodlords and Festers, maybe with something else. And yeah, this is going to be very interesting, because Dark already has a nice advantage. He traded, he didn't really trade it that poorly, so he has a 5k resource, lost more, right? But it's not really a big deal so far, because, well, maybe if it was 10k or something, but yeah. So far, it's still doable because he's mining more. He's probably going to be mining one of Byun's bases, because this location belongs to Byun, rightfully. And if he just manages to do that, he's going to compensate for this bad engagements he had in the previous battles. So yeah, it's not going to be a problem for him, I guess. And we're going to see a normal macro game where Byun will have to be very careful with how he positions his ghosts, how he uses his liberators, his turrets. He's going to be advancing slowly in this entrenched mech playstyle. And then maybe we'll see a big grand battle where two forces going to be colliding in the middle or somewhere near one of the not empty, not exhausted bases. So that could be a possibility. So far, yeah, just Dark can't really have... just doesn't really have an ability to break Byun forces because he doesn't have proper units. Has a lot of links, has a lot of bane links, but if we just take a look at the map, the whole position on the map, like every location on the map is very much secure, very safe for Byun. So here we have a planetary fortress, a lot of tanks on this side of the map. In the middle there are just rocks. This is a very narrow choke point, you can't really attack here. And same is true on the left side. There's another planetary fortress, a couple of ghosts, a couple of marauders, turrets, and just everything. Pretty much every position is fortified so heavily that Dark has no chance of breaking it. He can try to besiege that with broodlords and spore crawlers and lurkers. Lurkers maybe not something that you need here actually. Maybe just vipers, corruptors, you know, just standard Zerg late game composition, that would be good. But yeah, he just tries to utilize his force that he already built. He's probably going to be attacking here, maybe. He's still try to do that with blinding clouds. If he just sees that, well, let's say Byun is on the other corner of the map, he can just try to attack here with blinding clouds. Could be a possibility. Byun is adding some nukes, so we're going to be seeing some real tough situations for Dark. He's going to be trying to look for this nasty red dot on the map somewhere. And Dark probably should defend this map at all costs because it's a very important location for him, because this is the location that can allow him to outmine Byun. Byun actually didn't really get that, only 3 HP left on this hatchery, and that would have been a great pickup for him, but unfortunately he just preferred to evacuate this one marine. The life of this marine was a lot more important for Byun than just a hatchery. So yeah, this was an honorable gesture, but it would have made him more good if he just killed the hatchery instead of saving this Private Ryan. But yeah, anyway, at least now Byun knows that Dark is trying to mine his location, and now Byun knows that he needs to act quickly. He needs to put pressure on Dark as well right now, because if he just sits with his hands folded, it's not gonna be looking great for him in 10 or 15 minutes. So yeah, he's transitioning some forces here, just a couple of them, a couple of ghosts, a couple of medevacs, 2 Vikings, and also at the same time has a small squad of units on this side. Nice snapshots going on the banelings, just gonna be taking them down, and now Marauders can just tank the rest of the damage from links. And yeah, so Byun is trying to fight at 2 places at the same time. Generally not a great thing to do, you know, because, well, human brain cannot really focus on 2 things at once. You can only focus on one thing and then just switch to another thing and just re-switch your focus, and you know what I mean, right? So yeah, but still, pro players in StarCraft 2 are able to do that actually. And by the way, Dark, he's not going for Broodlords, he's not going for a, you know, standard macro playstyle, he's going for 31 Mutalisk. Oh my god, this is actually a big gamble, because Mutalisk, they can be devastating, because he can fly around the map, he can try to clear all the production, he can try to destroy everything at this location, try to bait the army back at home, and then just attack here with all of the banelings, all of the links, and just everything he has. But at the same time, it's such a big commitment in terms of money, in terms of resources, and those mutas, they need to pay off. They cost so much, and he needs to be very careful with them. If there were like some mines or some units, that would have been a disaster for Dark, but fortunately for him, Byun doesn't really have anything, but he managed to scout. I see those Mutalisks, he probably just got a nice scan somewhere in the middle of the map, so now he's building turrets everywhere on the map. So many turrets on this side, Vipers are doing the updacks, just getting some of the tanks. Very nice engagement for Dark here, and Mutas are still waiting. So I guess Dark made a lot of Mutas, but he just doesn't know that Byun already aware about them, right? He knows everything about the incoming attack, and he's adding more and more turrets on every single location here. The problem though is that he's only fortifying those fresh bases. Kind of makes sense, because, well, those bases are the most important ones, but at the same time he can try to go for the main base. So, you know, it's probably one of the locations that Dark is going to be very, very soon. Maybe just going to be trying to take down production, so it would make sense. So Byun probably should be aware about that as well. But Dark so far is not really finding a room for those Mutalisks. He's trying to attack at one location, he's trying to fly to a different section of the map, and yeah, here there's just so many turrets. Of course, Mutas are gonna be able to deal with them, but well, the resource lost is gonna be just those difference between those resources are gonna be just even higher for Dark, and this is not what you're gonna be. This is not what you actually need in this game, you know. Already 10k difference. This is a pretty big deal already. So like starting from 10k, this is the point when you actually have to start worrying about that. You need to start worrying about that. So Dark needs to be actually very careful with how he utilizes his Mutalisks. So far so good. Didn't really lose that many. He's going to be taking some Ghosts here. Ghosts, they cost just a bit more than Mutas, so this is always a good engagement if you can trade 1 for 1. And overall, yes, he actually managed to find at least one location. Those Mutas with 2-2 upgrades, they are super powerful because of the way they attack. You know, those Muta attack just bounces from one target to another target, but he needs to be careful because a lot of those Mutas are bruised, and yes, he's getting so many those rocket shots, and this was actually not that great. And if you just look at the resource lost up, again, he lost 30 Mutalisks over the course of the past, what, 2 minutes or so. And yeah, he didn't lose as much gas, I would say, but he lost quite a lot of minerals as well, with like all of the small lingering around buys that didn't really amount to anything. So yeah, he needs to be super careful now. Still trying to find a good engagement here and there. Still trying to secure this base, so Dark is doing a lot of stuff here, but also going to be taking this planetary maybe, but there's a lot of SCVs repairing that, and also one mule, so not gonna happen today. Byun just prevents that from happening. Nice defense, but it's gonna be the second wave very soon, so Dark is probably gonna be able to accomplish that anyway. He's not gonna stop at that. And yeah, this is something that you need to do as a Zerg player at this stage. If you just choose to be very, you know, versatile and mobile with all those flying units, fast moving ultras, banelings, links, you just need to be attacking at 2 or maybe like even 3-4 places at the same time. And this is the only way that you can manage to break Terran's defense. So yeah, I would say Broodlords and Infestors would be better. Personally, I cannot really play that, even though I'm a Grandmaster player, I cannot do that. I always suck with this armory composition, but I'm sure Dark can handle that really well, and it would have been a lot safer for him because he also would be able to, you know, just get more bases. Now there's a nice attempt to engage here with Banelings and Mutas, but yeah, snipe shots are just landing perfectly. So many Banelings lost here, maybe like around like 10 or so. Base here has been destroyed apparently, but at the same time, yeah, Byun, he just tries to take that back, but there are ultras coming on this side. Ghosts were pretty busy, preoccupied with Mutas on the other side of the map, so another good engagement here with Banelings rolling straight for the mineral line, and ultras are managing to get their claws on the towers, and yeah, 2 towers down. Mutas are still trying to fight the turrets, not gonna be great for them, but actually Dark just got so many kills here, SCV kills as well, and just the whole economy of Byun seems to be ravaged by this attack. This was actually a very nice engagement for Dark, probably like the first big engagement and first great engagement that he had, but still, if you take a look at the resource loss tab, you can see that there's just such a big difference between how they trade. And to be honest, again, even though Dark seems to be just handling things a bit better in terms of how he tries to pressure Byun, he obviously has the initiative in this game because Byun hasn't been attacking for the past 10 minutes or so, but still, like, he's just grinding his own forces, he's just gonna be losing them, and yeah, it doesn't really look great. Already like gonna be 15k difference, pretty big difference to be honest, and yeah, another pack of Mutas has been made, so Dark is still investing so much resource in those flying Mutas. With +3 upgrade they actually managed to get down every building very quickly, so it makes sense on one hand. So with this amount of Mutas, like around 30, he can actually... I really don't understand why he's not flying to the main base, because, well, now he cannot really do that because there are Liberators on the map. Liberators, they have AoE damage, splash damage for air units, so it's not gonna be a perfect engagement for Dark if he tries to commit there. But before that, I think there was a window of opportunity that he could have tried to exploit, but yeah, now obviously it's not the best time to do that. But on the other hand, he's successful with his attacks on this location. He's going to be trying to get some ghosts here, some siege tanks as well. Ultras are dying, but this is still a very nice engagement for him. Maybe he's even going to be getting more, but Liberators already here. The splash damage is going to be kicking in, and yeah, there are more ghosts from this side, so Dark just decides to retreat. Again, another battle. This one was much better for Dark, if we compare that to the previous fights, but actually, even if it's still look at the resource loss tab, it's still not that great. Not terrible, but not great as well. And Liberators are probably gonna be getting those mutilates because Dark has been distracted on the other side of the map. Yeah. So it's been tough, really. So now it retreats back. It's gonna lose this hatchery. Wasn't really mining that much from this location, so not a big deal for Dark, but still. Still has a nice bank, 7k minerals, and oh my god, this is gonna be a perfect engagement for him because there are no Liberators to support those ghosts, and oh my god, this battle is just gonna be amazing for the Zerg player. Byun manages to retreat. There is a stack of Liberators in the sky, and yeah, that would have been a great moment for a Viper to appear and throw the parasitic bomb on all those units, but it just doesn't have that, and Mutas are gonna be forced to fight here, and oh my god, it's gonna be just an awful battle for Dark, but actually, the majority of his mutalists managed to survive, but maybe this is... No, actually, they're all very much bruised, they just have so low HP, but Byun just miscalculated his actions quite a bit, and he could have got everything. It was like all or nothing, but turned out to be nothing for him. He just lost all the Liberators with basically getting almost no mutalisk. So this was a pretty bad engagement. But Dark probably should not be that risky and bold once again. He just needs to take his time to restore the HP on the Mutas and maybe attack a bit later here once again. He still keeps mining this base, still has a lot of minerals here left, so for Byun it's not a disaster yet. He can still take that, and it's gonna be plenty of resources left for him, but yeah, this is what Dark is certainly trying to accomplish. A big attack is going on, Liberators are in the position trying to clear that up, SCVs are being lost, and again, not bad for Dark, but it's not enough to actually turn the tide in this battle yet. Another attack is happening here, siege tanks, some of them destroyed. The base is still intact, so yeah, needs to apply more pressure in this location, but again, I just keep looking at this resource loss tab and it just keeps on increasing. The difference is gonna be getting bigger and bigger, and if it's not gonna be changing, if this trend continues, then I'm not really sure if Dark's been doing right things in this game. So far, this is probably like the first time in this game when it feels like Byun's defense has been weakened significantly. He doesn't have as much stuff at home, he just doesn't have a perfect defense. He already mined out his gold base, he only has this location that's also gonna be empty very quickly and very soon. And this is like the only place where he still has a lot of crystals left, and well, this location is something that he just needs to take that. He just needs to secure that and start mining from this base, otherwise it's gonna be a game over for him, even though Dark's been trading poorly for pretty much the entirety of this game. Another pack of Mutas arrives on the battlefield, another good sweep here. It's just gonna be looking for something to clean up, and there are plenty of Liberators, so again, he can't really take a direct battle. There are no forests, but there are many Liberators which are very quick, so you need to be very careful with how you approach them. Taking out some turrets as well. It's been really nice, actually. 7 turrets at the price of 1 muta, so I would say it's pretty decent. Flying away, and yeah. Dark is a bit indecisive here. He's just trying to set a nice attack angle for all of his units. Probably gonna be approaching this base again. This base doesn't hold as much value as it used to, so probably it's not the best place to attack. He probably just should focus on his remaining base on the right side of the map. But he's actually going for the main base finally, for the first time in this game. He's going to be taking some reactors and labs and maybe even buildings, but well, needs to be super careful because the stack of Liberator is huge and you need to be... Oh my god, no way. If he just engages here, it's gonna be terrible. And oh my god, those AoE shots, and Byun is microing perfect. He's trying to reposition his Liberator so that mutas stack up, and this is what happens exactly. Oh my god, Dark lost so many mutas here. 24 mutas lost in this one engagement, which didn't really amount to anything. Yes, this was a good counter-attack by him. He managed to destroy this CC here. But still, it's not been good. It's not been good at all. He's still making 21 more mutas. This is just insane. Like, why are you playing like this? This is not the best. It's not the most optimal way to play this game, but he just wants to finish this game as quickly as he can. He's just trying to break Byun, and it feels like he was almost, like Byun was on the verge of defeat in this game many times. Even though it didn't feel like it, we still like had really high supply for him, but well, this is probably the first time that Byun is having issues with his resources, because there is no more mining on this base. Well, technically there are 200 minerals, but this is just not enough, obviously. The Dark still has the fresh base here, and this base is something that he's also trying to secure again. Byun also has some resources left on this location, and there's quite a lot of them, so he needs to switch his positions to this side of the map. Probably would make more sense, because this is just more important. And Dark is trying to attack again, and just gonna be taking down this command center. Pretty big deal actually now, so nice job here. Another counter attack on this side. Only tanks left here on to defend, and they're just all gonna be destroyed. Links are doing perfect clear here, so yeah, just taking down anything that they see. And mutas are flying. Could have actually tried to trade the force maybe, but actually no, Devo goes on the side to protect them as well, so a good call for him to retreat back and make more units. But you can see at the resource tab, Dark is actually running out of steam. He just doesn't have such a big bang as he used to, and he's gonna be trying to engage here with all of the Byun's army. Snapshots are going, and oh my god, this is gonna be pretty big for the Byun. He's losing so many ghosts here, and the whole army of Byun is gonna be destroyed. But to be honest, same is true for Dark. He also lost a lot of units on this location, and at the same time he's losing this base. So this game is getting really rusty. Both players are losing almost everything they have, and yeah, this side of the map is gonna be cleared out, and Byun just has to give up this side of the map. He probably just needs to focus on this one location and just try to mine this base. That would have been the best shot that he's still gonna have. And yeah, doesn't have any gas at all, so he can only build marines from now on. He can only build Hellbats or Hellions, which is not a bad unit at all, but you know, it's not something that you're really looking for in a game where you need more casters and more high value units. But still, Byun still has a nice position here. He can still try to get some income going from this side of the map. He can still try to use his liberators here, and you can see there's just more liberators than mutas right now, and obviously Byun is just microing really nice here. Dark is doing the same thing. He's trying to split every single muta, and actually this is looking amazing for Dark. He's just trying to do his best at kiting and just switching, and also bringing queens to do the transfusions to heal those mutas, and actually he's gonna win this battle, even though it didn't seem gonna happen. But actually it was a very nice micro by Dark. It was a pretty big fight, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, this was a decisive battle here, because if for some reason Dark would lose this sky battle, then this base is gonna be under siege, and he would have 0 resources left, pretty much, because, well, there's just no more mining going for Dark anywhere on the map except for this base. For Byun, it's pretty much the same situation here. The problem, though, that this base has been mined by Dark before, so probably there's just not so much stuff left. Well, actually it's still enough, so Byun can maybe try to build up another army, and Dark is probably gonna be trying to base trade with him and do something crazy here. Yeah, Byun can be just making marines on this side of the map, why not? He can add maybe 30 or 40 marines from one base, why not? That would actually serve him really well, sorry. And it's not like the best army composition, obviously, because at this stage of the game you don't really need marines. They're just not as effective as they were in the mid game, but still, this is something. You just need any kind of unit possible. You just need a big army, and this is what you're looking for. But for Dark, this is even more complicated, because what do you build in this situation as a Zerg player? You can add more mutas. They're kinda nice, especially if your opponent doesn't really have much anti-air, but at the same time they are very costly. They don't really do that much direct damage. They are more fit for harassing targets and just trying to go around the bases. But another fight happens here. Dark is just trying to assault multiple bases at the same time. He's successful at this location. He's getting some SCVs killed, but well, at this stage of the game it doesn't really it's not really that important, to be honest, because, well, both players just need 20 workers, and that's gonna be enough to mine the single remaining base. So you can kill as many as you want, but it doesn't really do anything. So you can see Dark has like 50 workers that are stacked on the same location, but you know, you can just send 15 to die, and it's not gonna happen. I mean, it's not gonna change anything in this game. Nice bailing round by, but he just quickly sees the Hellbats here on the spot, so just retreats back. The situation is pretty tough for both of them, to be honest, in this game already. So, but oh my god, those bailings are gonna connect. Nice reaction from Byun though, so only loses 5 SCVs, not a big deal again. Still has plenty of them, so they're really replaceable at this point, and it's not gonna be really disappointed about this small engagement. He can also get those mineral fields here, has like a bank of 80 minerals. It was his piggy bank pretty much. Managed to save up for a tough day, which came. And to be honest, both players are stuck in a Zugzwang. I don't really see a good opportunity for Dark to attack. He can try to make as many bailings as he can. He can try to reinforce with links, maybe 1 or 2 ultras, just as a mid shield. And then he can try to attack this location here, why not? But for Byun, the situation is just as difficult as it is for Dark, because he can try to go on the map, he can try to clear out the creep. The problem though, that's, you know, he needs to go away from his defenses quite a bit. You know, he needs to position his army in the center of the map, he needs to advance towards the Zelnaga tower. He might try to go to the left side, but again, it's such a big distance, and if he just leaves this base, open and vulnerable, he's gonna get destroyed by a single run by. So he needs to split his forces to protect both the base and also go on the attack, on the offensive, but he can't really afford to do that. If he splits his forces, one of his armies is gonna get crushed, and then he's probably gonna lose the game. But for Dark, it's pretty much the same situation. He can try to force an engagement, he can try to attack beyond his defenses, but what's gonna happen is that he's probably just gonna trade poorly, and you can see Byun just has a bigger army supply. And yeah, so for Dark, the best gameplay and the best game plan would be to just stay at home, make as many bailings, keep on spreading creep, and just maybe even use your static defense where you can. And that would have been the best decision that he can take in this game. That's the best shot that he's got. But so it just looks like both players are going to be very passive for the remaining next minutes, I guess, because yeah, what can you do here? I don't really see a good opportunity for either of them. They both need to wait for your opponent basically making a mistake. Or maybe actually, yeah, planting bailing mines. This is a good decision. But obviously Byun is gonna have enough scans, and he's gonna be approaching every single piece of land very carefully. He already has a tough army, he's making extra force, because they are really good at tanking shots and also taking zergling damage as well, and bailings especially. But overall, it's just a really tough spot to be in. Like, we can see, like, just take a look at the units. 27 Marines, this is a nice number, and also 2 Thors and 30 Hellbats actually, so quite a lot of AoE damage. Even though like Hellbats have a small AoE radius, it's still the damage that you wanna get. And yeah, to be honest, like Dark Army, just on paper it looks weaker, but again it depends where they actually take a fight. If they fight on creep, that could be very different from if they fight close to beyond space or just off creep in general. So it depends a lot on how they're gonna be approaching the next battle. But my guess would be both of them should just stay at home and wait. But what are they waiting for, basically? Basically they're waiting for just getting as many minerals as they can and getting the ultimate army. But this is a pretty tough spot for Byun and Dark. I just don't see this game ending in a, you know, good way for any of them. There's a small pack of links hidden here, so Byun doesn't really know about that, and Dark can use them later on to harass the space, but I'm really confused now. I don't think that any of them is going to be leaving their locations, and yeah, Byun just making sure that he spread his forces in a way that he can quickly go around the map and save his locations. He's just sending like a small pack of forces to clear out the creep, but obviously he's not going to be committing for the reasons I voiced just some time ago, because, well, he just cannot leave this base unprotected. Maybe like actually one way to do that would be to mine out the whole base, make an army, and then try to commit and try to win this game. But again, this is not a ladder game. This is a replay from Korean StarCraft 2 League. This is a weekly tournament that happens every Saturday or Sunday, I don't quite remember. But yeah, so if this was a ladder match, it would probably make sense to just go and just try to end that, no matter how it ends. It was a good game, it was a good practice for both of them. But as for a tournament, and as for a tournament match, it's just not the best way to do that. You can actually ask for a draw, and draw is gonna happen in this game if they both mine out the whole map and they just don't do any actions. And probably this is what's gonna happen. Dark is adding some infestors and some neural parasites to this army composition, and this is a good decision. He can neural force, and that would be a game changer in the upcoming battle, because he's not gonna be suffering. His mutas are gonna be not getting all those scary shots from force, but still, you still need to get them. And yeah, both players, they start chatting. I don't know the Korean language, but I assume they're talking about the draw, because yeah, they just happen to be in a Tsukswang, and this game cannot really end. And yeah, none of them is probably going to be doing that. None of them is going to be trying to attack each other, and this means that, yeah, this is not going to be... there is not going to be the final battle. This is a very anticlimactic, but this is how this game ends. It's actually a draw, and they just decided that it's better than just wasting their forces and losing a potential game. So this is how this match ends. It's been a very nice game overall, and it ended in a draw as well. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this battle between Dark and Byun. If so, subscribe for more StarCraft 2 content. Have a nice day, and see you next time.